Hello, in this little floss tube, I'm going to show you my very big collection of kitted full coverage cross stitch kits. I have Dimensions, Disney Dreams, Luca S, other assorted brands. This will probably be filmed in multiple segments because I do have a baby co-host, but I thought it'd be fun to show. I started as a full coverage cross stitcher when I was a teenager, and I made a lot of kits and stitches for my dad, and then I got into making some of like the cute cabins and landscape scenes, and have just been collecting a couple projects kits here and there for the last like 20 years. So I have a lot, like literally I feel like this whole half of my living room is cross stitch kits, but it should be fun to do a show and tell. I like it when other people do their videos like this. And so anyway, I will get started, and I'm going to try to do show notes at the end, or if they're for sale still on Amazon, I will link them. If I purchase them online, I'll try to find a link. Some of them I bought from, there's a seller from I think Lithuania on Etsy. I don't know what the current shipping situation is, if she still ships to the States or not, but I got a lot of my kits from her. Sometimes you can get stuff directly from Luca S if you're interested in those. 123 Stitch will also sometimes carry these full coverage kits. And then if they're out of print, I'll put out of print, and then at that point, have fun on eBay. So anyway, let me go ahead and get started. So I'm not going to show these in any particular order. I'm just going to kind of grab a basket and show. I think when I organized my baskets, at some point I tried to go by theme, but no promises. I blame all of this on the Disney Dreams kit situation. So I was slowly collecting the kits in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. That sounds like a long time ago. Like when I was like 2008-ish, and somewhere in there they went out of business, and I had stopped cross stitching for a couple years, and when I came back they were gone, and they were on eBay for like $1 million. So I realized that stuff can go out of print, and so if I saw something I liked, I bought it. And I've done the same thing with my patterns and other things that I like too. So I will do a separate video with my cross stitch patterns, but I figured this was a good place to start because this is where I started as a cross stitcher, and it's just fun to see. So let me get started. Grab a basket. Sorry for any crinkling zippers or any of those kind of things. It is what it is. So this is a Luca S kit. Sorry for glare. So this is Gold Collection, and I have not opened this one up. It comes with, and I'm probably not going to do like a super detail on all of them, but these kind of kits come with all of the floss. It comes with Ada fabric, and it's kind of interesting at the bottom. It'll show you like a little bit of what the chart looks like. A lot of these look kind of intense. At some point I might have to learn how to do like Pattern Keeper and try to figure out how to do it on a screen, because I usually like to stitch with paper charts. But anyway, this is like right up my alley for like the kind of stitch I'd like to do. This one is a Luca S, and it is, let's see, is it BU 5000? Yeah, so so BU 5000. So I will get good at telling you the names of these as I go. This one is G615. B619. I like the blues in this one. And this is Leti Stitch, which I think is related to Luca S. I think they're all like within one family, but some of these are a little more modern. I really like the blues and the greens in this. Anyway, and this one is L8077. So Luca S kits. Now I am a mood stitch. Super quickly. I'm a mood stitcher when it comes to my full coverage stitch. Like I need to be in the mood for the particular project, and I need to have an audiobook and some time set aside. So I figure at some point I will probably do a lot more stitching again on these type of projects, but for now I've got the kits in my stash. So this one is, I'm not sure how to say that brand name, but it is the K175. And these kits actually look a lot more like Dimensions kits. When you look at the patterns, there is some back stitching, color blending, half stitches and such. So these are kind of like a good supplement for Dimensions, because they really haven't been making some of their full coverages like they used to, which I think is why I branched out to some of these other brands. This is a stocking. This one's pretty commonly available on Amazon still. Watch, I say that and they're out of stock, but this is Enchanted ornaments. This one is Holiday Village. I think this was a more recent reprint. The ones that with the white, I think, are the more recent ones. Let's see. This one is Sweet Dream Stocking. This one is most likely out of print. It's a Bucilla Heirloom Collection. My dad loved Saturday Evening Post and Norman Rockwell, so I was going to make this for him. So this one I'll stitch in. But this one is most likely an out of print. I don't think you can find these kind of gold collections from Bucilla anymore. This was another one I was going to stitch for my dad. I think I just kind of put some of these in the same box. I'm like, Eagle's Majesty. I've got quite a few other Eagle full coverage and Eagle cross stitches. I will show in some other video someday. This was just an eBay find, or not eBay, Etsy find. I think that's in Ukrainian. I think Luca Stitches showed these at some point. This was an eBay find, and this is Dreamkeepers. Super cute. I think I did a search for the Bucilla plaid kits, and this came up. This was like, that was an impulse buy when I saw that. This one is Fields of Lavender by Dimensions. The purples and the Italian scene on that. And this one is Luca SB2381. I love houses and the landscapes on these, so little fun ones. Just gonna try to put these back as I find them. That way it's easier when I go to do show notes. I can not have to dig through as many project bags. Okay, next there's a lot of baskets over here. But this one was an out of print one that was really expensive on eBay, and then it came back into print, so I was able to get this. I'm not sure if it's from, it might be from overseas reprint, I don't know, but I was able to get it on eBay for a decent price a couple years ago. This one is Twilight Calm. Aurora Cabin. In her garden. Like the flowers on that one. Wildflower Trio. Some of these are Riolis. And 1656. And super cute. It comes with baby noises today. And I think it comes with a little hanger too. Here is the autumn version, and this is 1657. Some of these I put in bags, so I was going to start them, or I did like 2 stitches on them and put it away. This is another Riolis 1079. And some of these have more of like the acrylic wool threads, which I don't have really experience stitching on. I know some people on Flosstube don't like them, but just a different stitching experience, I suppose, when I get to those. I have Summer Bouquet. This one I think was, I don't know, some kind of Black Friday special or something that was added to my cart for Black Friday. And this is Design Works Picture Row. Might have even gotten this from Fat Quarter Shop. Although I don't think they typically have a lot of full coverage kits. This is Hydrangeas and Shells. I love beachy themes stitching too. Garden Bouquet. He's finding his way to the baskets now. And this one I've heard is really hard. Oriental Splendor. Put those back in the bag here, buddy. Put those away. So next basket. I'm trying to just do these quick, although I probably could make this like a 2-hour long video, but I just kind of doing a quick show and tell, and if I have extra comments about them, I will add them. So this one is Summer Fairy, and I have some of these started, and this is a more recent release, and I think it's from Ruth Sanderson as the designer, I believe. And there was the fall, the spring, and the winter, and then finally they came out with the summer one. I feel like they kind of have Merejka vibes a little bit. And these are kitted up with these kind of flosses. I think I have some in some of the baskets over there that I will show where I put them on floss drops, because I don't like to stitch off of these type of, it just gets to be messy and they're long. And so anyway, I will talk about that in a minute. Winter Cabin. Memory Lane. This is Riolis 1098. I like the pinks on this one. And then this is a Luca S Beat 2377. I like the dog on this one, but I think they're difficult to stitch. The colors are really pretty on these two. I like the way they color palette. And then it looks like it'll be nice because they put little colors, the stickers for the symbols for all of the floss too. So I think that'll make it nice to stitch when I do get to that. Thank you. And this one is Village Canal. I think this was just an impulse buy on Amazon. And this one is, it says Tapestry Kit. So I think this might be Needlepoint. I was curious to try one of these. Let me see what it says on here, but it is on 25 count. And I think you just do the 10th stitch on it. So I'm kind of curious of how that works. Because a lot of the tapestry kits are cheaper than the cross stitch kits from this brand, but I don't know if I like stitching on that. Granted, I've got a lot of kits and I should probably figure that out, but this is G571. I like the colors. And I feel like a lot of times when I do full coverage, it's kind of a mood stitch for the season or the colors, or something about it is inspiring. This was an eBay purchase. Lovely Victorian home. And this is probably a made in the US. Yeah, made in the US Dimensions. So they come in where you have to sort the thread yourself. They typically come with Ada. These are typically pretty nice kits. And this one, I think I'd actually purchased it because I liked this part more so than the balloons. But this one is Balloon Glow. The colors are very vibrant on this one. Cozy Cove. This one was another eBay find when I was looking for Bucilla kits. This one is Victorian House, and it's the classic 90s Nessa floss, which is its own kind of novelty, I think, sorting it out. A lot of the Bucilla kits also come with even weave instead of Ada as well. So definitely different experience. And the pattern charts are usually massive and hard to manage. That will be one thing I will say about those. I do have one kit that I worked on from them that I'll show when I do my cross stitch whip braid. This one is not my typical style. It's like looking at it, like the colors don't necessarily appeal to me. This is Maggie the Messmaker, but the more you look at the picture itself, the more you just see all of these cute details, like the flower on the lamp, or all of the little stitching tools and toys, or even just the tree. I saw this on somebody's Dimensions kit parade, and I bought it just because I liked all the details. I think it would be really fun to stitch. Probably be cute in my stitching room too. And it's on this darker colored Ada, which you don't see in a lot of their kits. This one is Garden Door. Should be showing the backs of these too. I'll get better as I go. I also don't want this to be a million hours long either. This one is most likely an out of print Sunset. So Sunset, I think, is a Dimensions before they started being consistent with their branding. This is one of their made in the US kits from 2001. So around that time, they had multiple brands. I think it was just Dimensions Gold, and then the Sunset kits. I like the purples. And the blues on that. That was an eBay find. eBay can be very dangerous for stash enhancement. This one is Floral Retreat. I think this was an eBay purchase as well, if I remember. Yeah, it's a made in the US kit. You have to sort yourself. This one is Luca SBU 5012. I loved the greens on this, but it also means stitching a lot of green. Like, look at the colors. Like, that just screams spring. Then I've got Dimensions Gold Japanese Garden. I like the flowers and the pink on this one. Cherry Blossom Creek. I think my plan is eventually those two will be stitched and displayed together. Although I think, sorry, that looks very messy in there. They're so similar that I don't know that I would stitch them anytime. Like, I would probably need like 10 years between them, and they'll probably take 10 years each to stitch. So who knows when that will happen. But this one is Sunset Mountain Trail. This is a newer release last couple years. Although watch, it's probably like 10 years old now. I don't know. It doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say, or I'm not seeing it if it is on there. And this is a Riolis. Sometimes you can find Riolis kits on Amazon too. And this is 1960. This is another Leti stitch. And this one is Cottage by the Sea. I think the blues drew me into this one. Although when you look at the back, I don't see where the blues are. Maybe they're somewhere in there. And this is 50 colors on 16 count. And this one you can see where it actually has multiple kinds of stitching on here. So it looks like there's 10 stitch French knots. So that's kind of nice about those, that it tells you what you're in for when you choose them. This one is Cafe by the Sea. Riolis 1747. This one has a lot of pretty blues. And you can see some of the charts are in color. I don't know if that will make it easier or harder to stitch, honestly. Lakeside Village. And this one I think was out of print, and then I think they re-released it, and then I snatched it up when I saw it. Guardian of the Sea. I want to say it's a Thomas Kincaid, but I could be wrong. Oh, no, Nikki Bohm. I like a lot of the Nikki Bohm pieces, but it looks like it could be a Kincaid. And let's see. Did I show that one already? I think I did. I like this lighthouse one too. The colors are really pretty on that one. The best kind of crinkling. Let's see. This one is, again, I don't want to mispronounce that name, but very similar aesthetic to Dimensions Gold kits. This one is Design Works. I had quilts on it. I needed it. And it's Dockside Quilts. And this one, I want to say it's out of print now, but I don't know. I'll look when I do my notes. And it's Coastal View. And the blues drew me into that. So sometimes, instead of starting new projects, I would get them ready to start, and then that would satisfy my desire to stitch them for a little while. So this one, what I do is, instead of having the long cards that I don't necessarily like stitching from, is I just take my little floss drops and I write down the number that goes with the pattern in it, and then I put them on little floss drops, and then just treat it like floss drops, like I would do for any other cross stitch project. And then I put them in number order so it's easy to find, and then it makes a really pretty rainbow gradient usually. And then when I do finish them, because eventually I'll finish them, then it's easy to kind of put these in some kind of organization system where if I run out of floss on a project, I can find it because it'll be organized, instead of like just piles of floss, which I did for years when I finished kids. So let's do some smalls. So this is Chickadees in Spring. This one's most likely, I think, out of print. I think I got this on eBay, Patriotic Angel. Don't know if I'll do the wings when I do this one, but oh yeah, you can tell it doesn't have little divider cards. It's an older pattern. This one is Garden Collectibles. These tend to be a little more difficult just because they're cramming a lot of pretty picture into a 5x7. So a lot of times they do have a lot more confetti stitching and back stitching, other things that make them pretty and special. Scenic Lighthouse. Morning Lake. This is one I was going to start. Oh no, I just took it out of the bag and put it in a Ziploc bag. So this one is Cabin View. And you can see it has like these, which I'm not a fan of. So this was something that, or maybe I wasn't ready to start it. I don't know. Or maybe I did start it. I don't know. But that would need to be put on floss drops before I actually would spend time with that one. This next one was a Joann's clearance find from many years ago. Inviting Holiday Wreath. It's just old style kit. By the Sea. Another clearance kit, Winter Hideaway. These are pretty. I should just stitch these up one day. Quiet Night. Love the blues on that one. It comes on like this dark fabric, which probably means I should stitch that in the summer when the lighting is really good. One is an ornament, it looks like, and the sticker's covering up the name. So looks like it comes with all kind of cool stuff. And then elegant bookmarks. I see some of these were purchased on Joann's. They just put the sticker right over the label back in the day. So there's that one. All right, this next one had some Ziploc bags in it. So let's see. We'll start with this one. So this one is from the Norman Rockwell Museum. I don't know if you can still find these. This was a gift. Spring Flowers Counted Cross Stitch Kit. And it comes with a floss, just some cute short picture. This one is a Needlepoint kit. Cottage Cove. And I just have some random kits that were probably bought on clearance from Joann's. This one is Hydrangeas. Sunflower. Tuscan Greeting. Daylilies. Some of these I'm actually not that crazy about, but they've just been in my stash forever. I apologize for the crinkly bag. This one, I don't know, just one of those European cross stitchers. I think I tried to start it even. I don't even know. Looks like I cut the label, the name off, and all that. So if I ever start that again, we'll have to figure out what that one is. I'm not even sure what this one is either. But I've had these for like 20 years. This one is, I think I've seen this on a few other podcasts or Flosstubes over the years. That will be a big project if I take that one on. This one I think I got on Hobby Lobby's website at one point, Chapel of Hope. This one, I think, again, I got on Hobby Lobby. I don't know if they still sell counted cross-stitch kits. Campfire. But you can still find a lot of the Thomas Kincaid kits online, although the charts look really hard on some of them. So we'll see. I'll probably stitch other stuff first. But it comes with the floss, the fabric. This one, Garden of Prayer. And this one is actually on a printed fabric. Let me see if I can get that out. And so this was a phase for a little while, I think, where kits would come with the printed fabric and then you would embroider on. So it should be interesting. That's why there's not a ton of floss for this size of project. So at some point I will tackle that one. That should be fun. Again, that is Garden of Prayer. And these are just going to be like, you search on eBay and you see what you find type of projects. This one, I think I took out the pattern and took one quick peek at it. Here, I'll show just like a little bit. And it was just like overwhelming. And this is Counted Crusted Nature's Paradise. But definitely really pretty. Definitely kind of the same kind of stitch I like. This is where I like a lot of like the Leti stitch and the Luca S patterns, is they look a lot like this without necessarily being out of print. So next bin has a lot of my Disney Dreams collection that I purchased, or some of them I found on eBay or on sometimes Etsy will have them. This is the Lion King. Come with the flosses on these cards. Some people replace the flosses in fabric. I don't know. I haven't. Well, when I sit down to make one, I'll have to decide. Let's see. Some of these I started to kit up. And I don't know. Again, I like sometimes just playing with the kit and then I put it away. So this one, I think I actually ended up getting the full-size Sleeping Beauty. But this is, they had like these little mini ones, and then there's the flosses that I pulled out and put on floss drops that'd be easier to use. And I think this one I was planning to start, and I don't know that I did. This is the Cinderella Wishes Upon a Dream. And the colors on this one are really quite pretty. Yeah, so I put all of the floss on. All the floss drops. It's got sparkle thread and all kinds of stuff. But these are ones that the charts are a little bit more difficult, I would say, than a Dimensions. So they do take a little bit more like paying attention, I think, at least to get started. Another one that I had pre-kitted, and I'll have to make a term for that when you play with your kit before you actually do anything with it. And this is the Snow White Discovers the Cottage. And another one where all the flosses are on. Just because I find this so much easier to work with than from the cards. This is just my preference. Back in the bag. This does not look like that. I might need to find a replacement for that because I don't know that I want to stitch with that pearl filament. It feels brittle and old, and so that might be worth going on and finding. Oh, apparently I lost pearl filament from a different project. But that definitely looks like something I would probably want to replace. And then the fabric feels kind of stiff and crunchy too. So we'll see if I replace some of the stuff in the kit or not. I don't know when I'll get to these. This one is the vignette for Cinderella. And this one I was using bobbins. This must have been kitted up a long time ago because I don't use bobbins. And again, I don't know why I put some of these in bags. Although honestly, some of the packaging from the Catamar Kids falls apart, so that might have been why. And this is the Tinkerbell and Peter Pan. Let's see the color palette. That one. This one is, I ended up finding the Sleeping Beauty. Okay, sometimes you get a good deal on these though. Like I think I got this one for like $30 on Etsy not that long ago, and they didn't know that they could have gone on eBay and made a lot more money. This one is actually a Dimensions kit. I don't know how that ended up in the Disney box, but this is the Fall Fairy. I think, was that what it's called? Yep, Fall Fairy. And I like the colors on this one. So you see, when I kit these up, I will still keep the the cards just so I have the numbers and a little sample of the floss. I figured, I mean, granted, I'm not going to Joann's anymore, but that was always my plan. Like if I ran out, I could take that to Joann's, or I could take it. I've got the DMC floss card now, so I could just hold that up and figure it out too if I needed to. But here's how the flosses look on that one. It just makes it look fancier. I like it. And then it has all of this gold, which I will probably upgrade that to a different brand, because these can be hard to stitch too. Definitely do short lengths of fiber I'm thinking yarn. Definitely do short pieces if you're doing those, but I don't know. Those are not fun to stitch on. Sometimes if you're holding it with a cotton floss, it can make it a little easier, but it still is crunchy and it does all kind of weird things. Let's see what else do I have in here. Oh, another Dimensions that I kitted up. There must have been room in this box. This is Northern Light. I was drawn to the blues on this one for sure. Let's see, just the flosses are just very pretty. It's always interesting though. Sometimes you look at the picture and then you look at the flosses, and sometimes you can see it, and sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it seems like there's more of a certain color than you expect. And this one just is on the blue Ada. So I had planned on starting that at some point, and then probably just had fun playing with the kit and put it away, which is probably good because that keeps me from having 5 million projects started. I have, I think, between 40 and 50, so I will do a video with that at some point soon. And then my last couple kits, I have the little vignette from Tinkerbell. And back in the day, like these were like $7-8, so it wasn't, you know, I'd go on Joann's and buy them. But there's a sort it yourself floss. These are hard to sort too because there's not a lot of difference between some of the colors, and sometimes, especially on the vignettes, they all have 2 particular cuts of floss, so you try to like match it and it's very difficult. So I think that's another reason why some people will rekit them in DMC, and the DMC flosses are brighter than whatever brand they used for these. So anyway, not that I'm an expert on these. This is Fantasia. Really a warmer color palette on that one. And Leti the Tramp. And these are all definitely out of print and like see what you can find on eBay type patterns. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my stash, my counted cross stitch full coverage stash. I will do a separate video with some of my other patterns and smalls and some of like the more modern things that I've collected and curated in the last couple of years to stitch. But hope you've enjoyed. Before I forget, this sweater is out of the Knitting with Icelandic Wool book, which I really like this book. And as I was trying to find this pattern, I was like, oh, I should stitch some stuff out of here. I will say that these patterns don't use some of the more modern techniques like short rows or other things like that. So just kind of keep that in mind. And they are kind of more aimed at someone who has knit sweaters before. And this is, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I think you can get some of these patterns on Ravelry. And you don't necessarily need the book for them. Yeah, the patterns are definitely like a lot more like what you would expect out of like a knitting magazine, which is how I learned how to knit and crochet, was out of magazines. So it wasn't, you know, I was used to it when I got the book. But anyway, so I've knit a couple of things out of that book, and I want to make some more things now that I know more of what I'm doing about making things. And this is just Knit Picks yarn. And that's one thing I'm noticing as I'm pulling out different sweaters to wear in different videos over my Vlogmas and everything, is I actually wear a lot of Knit Picks, and I use a lot of Knit Picks. And so it's kind of interesting because I know a lot of my stash has kind of, you know, evolved to other brands and fancier yarns and things, but sometimes the workhorse yarn I feel like is actually very wearable. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. I'm going to splice all these together. I have no idea how long this video is. Hopefully not too long. I tried to keep it on the shorter end or on the quick end just because with my co-host, I didn't know how long he would go for. I will try to sit down and do decent notes before I upload it though. If I have Amazon links, I'll put Amazon links. If some might just be the name of the particular kit. And if it's out of print, I'll try to put out of print. So we'll see how involved I get with all of the notes. But I will put all of that up there if I can. And I hope you've enjoyed. And hopefully you also